Today we're going to show you how to terminate what we call FP, and this is 200. The F stands for fire and the P stands for performance. Many people think the P stands for protection, but it actually stands for performance. And it stands for performance because this is FP200, and this is only one of the fire rated cables that are out there. There is FP400, FP300, and also you'll find that this cable is well, you see ours is red. Again, you can get white and gold and black, I do believe. A few other colors. This cable generally now is recognized for its use in alarm systems or fire alarm systems because of its heat resistant qualities. This is not as good as the mineral insulated cable that we have talked about in the past, but it does have some advantages over the mineral insulated cable, which is why this cable here is being used now more and more, especially in the fire alarm industry. You can see a plastic sheath here, plastic red sheath. Beneath the sheath is actually another sheath. It's an aluminium sheath, and that's really what gives it its fire protection rating. If you go on to their website, you'll actually see the tests that they do in order to rate this cable, and I do encourage you to do that. This is a 2-core and earth cable here. As you can see, the earth is bare, and so will require sleeving when we terminate it. Again, like with many cables, this cable needs to be terminated by use of a gland, and again, it's just going to be simply a gland for FP200. And again, like every gland, you have the gland body, you have the lock-in nut, and then you have the actual nut that does the compression. And so we'll talk about that in a little while. One of the main reasons why people would use this cable over mineral insulated cable is the ease of terminating this cable. It is far easier, and in the industry, time is money, and so if you can get the same types of quality in fire resistance but easier to terminate, you're going to save money, which means you're going to earn more money. Okay, now in order to terminate this, we could, again, there's a number of ways of terminating this. Some people will use a junior or a big hacksaw to terminate this. I, again, tend to want to use my knife. And again, we have to terminate it or make it off into a box of some description. Again, I'd want to leave about 50 mil out, and so my judgments, I'm looking to terminate it, somewhere there, giving me enough room or enough of length in my cable to do what I need to do. First thing I want to do is get my knife, and I'm going to literally just cut a shoulder on this cable, and I'm going to score the aluminium inner sheath here. So I'm going to just put them on the ground here and just run it round. Again, the cables are really quite close, so I'm being careful. I'm not cutting through. I'm just scoring it. So I'm hoping you can see the line, which is just about there, that I've scored. I'll twist it around there. Now, once I've scored it, what I'm going to do, I can get my pliers. I can just hold it below the line, and all I'm going to do is bend the cable. Once I bend the cable, like so, because I've scored it, now you can see the sheath just comes off in one go. Nice, clean shoulders. I'm checking to see if I've cut the conductors, and this looks absolutely picture perfect. Now, next thing we need to do is actually put our gland on. So again, we don't have to unscrew the gland away from its body, or the nut away from its body. We just keep it like this, and then all we do is put the gland on. So now you can see the gland is just really quite free to move. In order for us to correct that issue, all we need to do is tighten down on our gland body. Now let me just take this off and show you the inside. Hopefully that's a good picture. You can actually see this black thing here. This black thing is a piece of rubber. And the whole idea of this is when I screw the gland nut onto the body, it compresses this end, which compresses the rubber, which then compresses onto the outer sheath of the conductor. And we would normally just kind of do this hand tight, and then we might just nip it up with our tool. Now again, I want to leave maybe just a finger's worth out, 20 mil, 15 mil, 10 mil, your choice, out there, and then all I'm going to do is just tighten that up. And normally finger tight is good enough, but you can nip it up, remembering that these are plastic threads, so they're not going to take a big amount of movement. Again, now you can see I'm trying to move the gland. I can't move the gland. As far as I'm concerned, this is absolutely picture perfect. Again, I've left a section of sheath on purely for protection purposes, just to protect me as I go into the actual, whatever it is, a CCU, a socket, a switch. Today I've got a socket with me. And so here's how we would now mate the gland onto the socket. So that's how we'll do that. And again, like with every gland, let me just put this on the ground. It's on the bench. Like with every gland, it will have some sort of locking ring, some sort of locking nut. And again, this one does. And again, we've just got the gland colour to match the cable. If you had white cable, you would use a white gland. If you haven't got a white gland, then fine. But again, we would do that. Now, let me just put this on. So, again, I would screw this up, and as you can see, I'm just screwing it right up. Again, I would use my fingers, then I would use a tool. I would use a tool here just to nip him up, just to nip it up so that it doesn't move. Again, remembering it's a plastic thread, so it's not going to take a lot of movement with a tool. So please remember to be gentle. Again, I have 3 conductors here. Remembering I would have to sleeve my CPC, and obviously this is the conductor that we would use for our CPC. I would sleeve this and put it in the necessary termination that we would use. Here's how we would terminate a section of FP200. Thank you.